Fuck Andrew Yang.
Okay, you're gonna cut this out because I need to put up the fucking tweet because this was very sudden.
Gang banged. All right.
Yeah.
This is exactly what happened. A tweet was released by Andrew Yang. He had this particular statement. I don't want to say it yet, but he walked that shit back like he was a fucking flip-flopper. Now let's get into it.
All right, so we know that Yang is running in the New York city mayor election. A while ago he did, speak down on BDS, the boycott, divest, sanction for Israel, right? And that was like an entire thing. So in the city with probably the second biggest population of unorthodox Jews in the world, Yang has hired a lot of like political consultants on his campaign, specifically from the Bloomberg days. So that's already a bad sign. I should have taken that sign like back in January.
Yeah, we should have seen that.
Yeah,
started running.
And a lot of pro-Israel money is going into his campaign, and he has a lot of pro-Israel hawks on his campaign that are most likely influencing his views. For example, this guy named Richie Torres, who is a newcomer to Congress this year, he's very pro-Israel. All right, he will literally stand with Israel like no matter what the fuck they do. All right, it's crazy, absolutely insane. So he is actually the co-chair of his campaign, right? So Yang put out a statement saying, "I'm standing with the people of Israel who are coming under bombardment attacks and condemn the Hamas terrorists. The people of New York will always stand with our brothers and sisters in Israel who face down terrorism and persevere." Now, I have a lot of problems with this tweet, but I'll let you guys dig into it first.
My man chilled. Nothing else.
He's chilling, dude.
Not necessarily. I actually disagree. I think Yang has a fundamental issue. He appeals to conservatives, right? He appeals greatly to conservatives. And if you're going to appeal to conservatives, you're going to get fucking Zionists. I don't know if that's his legitimate views. I'm not going to say that those aren't.
That's what I'm saying.
Right?
Well, it's from my point of view that it may not be, just because of like the because he's already been shown to pander in a lot of ways. Like I'm not like basing my entire view of Yang just on this one tweet, right? He's got the BDS remarks going on. He's getting endorsements from like really far right figures, like in the Bronx, like councilmen. They're Jewish, right? The problem with this tweet, in my opinion, is that it happened, right after the attacks on Palestine started coming in, and where like the death toll was rising and all of that. So the problem that a lot of people, including me, had with it is that he did not acknowledge at all like Palestine, like, or any of like the deaths that are going on like the Palestinian side. Right? That's my one issue with this tweet, because if you go back to the Yang campaign, the presidential campaign, he always valued objectivity, right, and looking at the statistics and the data first. I mentioned in the other episode that when you look at the statistics alone, the death toll on the Palestinian side is just it's higher. There's nothing else you can say about that. So for Yang to put out a statement like this that just seemingly ignores the whole context of the situation and portrays it as something that is blatantly one-sided, it's just really sad to see like his character go down, or at least like his public persona per se. I don't know what his personal views are, to see his public persona go down like this route.
He's battling a really conservative dude who's gaining a lot of momentum in the race, and he had to take a stand.
Yeah.
It's just the situation itself is just weird. Like he's in a good position either way. Like if you go towards supporting Palestine, you're probably not going to win the race or whatever. But if you go towards Israel, you seem like you're shilling.
Yeah.
Like personally, like it's just really hard because I was pretty adamantly liked him like during the primary and stuff like that. And it's just hopefully I'm wrong and this is only for the race, and then he reveals how he actually feels later on. But like
it's hard to have that kind of hope for politicians.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't sit right with me.
When you look at like who's backing his campaign, who's like co-chair and all that. And I actually think it's Richie Torres, because earlier that day he literally put out a statement that's worded in the exact same way. So like
copy and pasted that shit.
Exactly. So it's,
if you're not like a values voter for the Middle East, right, and you're more interested in economic policies, Andrew Yang is still a qualified runner.
Yeah. Thing is, a lot of leftists don't, and this is my problem with the leftist movement in New York. okay, I gotta talk about this. Andrew Yang's been overvetted. Like, I gotta be honest. Like, even though like I hate his stance on Palestine, whenever like they talk about him not being like a real New Yorker, or taking specific things he say out of context. For example, recently, he said that it may be a good idea to, even though we want to invest in mental health, it may be a good idea to have, mental health professionals be accompanied by police officers. Now, in this case, mental health professionals would obviously have the upper hand in this, and they would, have full control of like this police officer, and that police officer is only there to de-escalate the situation in case anything goes bad between the mental health professional and
it's for the safety of the mental health.
Yeah, exactly. But what someone did on Twitter was took it out of context and said that he doesn't think that mental health professionals are sufficient and that police officers are the ones who should be dealing with mental health situations. Now, a lot of leftists took that out of context, and they're just like bolstering this narrative that he's somehow like really pro cop, anti mental health professional type, which is obviously untrue, and it's really crazy. And I think it does. I say this as a leftist. It speaks to like this innate toxicity.
It's like a purity cult.
Yeah. And this cognitive bias thing that's going on.
It's like I'm more left than you are, and I'm going to prove it. So I'm going to disprove how left.
Exactly. It's not a black or white issue.
It's
right.
They're trying to do a dick measuring contest, and it pisses me off. Do you think Cuomo would have thought about, let's have mental health professionals go with police officers?
No, he would have hid them in a nursing home.
Exactly. It's just like
and thrown away the key.
Bloomberg would have just stopped and frisked them.
True, exactly. People don't understand. It's a step in the right direction. We're not gonna get a fucking communist mayor of New York. Nations that are like as industrialized like the U.S. have a labor party. We don't even have that.
The pipeline hack. Can we just mention?
I forgot which pipeline it was, but it was like one of the biggest oil pipelines in the entire U.S. got hacked and just shut down. People then realized, wait, we're not gonna have enough gas, and everyone started panicking.
Okay, so that's why there's a gas shortage in the.
Yeah, that's why they're on fucking lines.
All right. I didn't look at the full story of that, but now I know why that happened, like the origin of that.
We have the strongest fucking military. We can keep our asses off from getting hacked. We've been hacked more times than. You don't see this shit or any other developed nation.
But it was a very sophisticated hack. We'll put that out there. It's very sophisticated.
Very sophisticated. Very smart. Very smart. But still, you're the U.S. fucking government. You should be prepared.
Powerful country.
You should be able to deal with it. These fucking boomers don't understand what the fuck is going on and where actually dangers are going to be. We're not going to fight another world war. We're just not.
Yeah, we're not. We're going to fight an information war.
We're going to fight a cyber war if it's going to anything goes like that. So having your big stick is nice, but you kind of need to start getting a big brain and stop thinking with your big stick. All right.
Yeah.